Hello, monsieur. Welcome to Chateau Peppernippeux. May I take your order? Can you make me a chicken broccoli rabe? I'm sorry, I have never heard of that. Chicken broccoli rabe? I'm sorry, come again? Chicken broccoli rabe. I don't believe I knew what you're talking about. Chicken broccoli rabe. Don't think I've ever heard of that. I'll make it myself. Chicken broccoli rabe is so delicious. You think everybody would know how to make it. You'd be surprised how many people don't. I'm going to show you how to make the most delicious chicken broccoli rabe you've ever tasted right now. Alright, for this recipe, we're going to need about 2 pounds of chicken breast. That's about 2 large chicken breasts cut in half. We need about 3 ounces of sliced almonds, 3 or 4 cloves of garlic, salt, pepper, cooking oil, and a bunch of broccoli rabe. Very interesting vegetable, has kind of these broccoli-like looking flowers with these thick green leaves. It's very delicious when cooked right. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to chop up 4 cloves of garlic. I like to chop it as thin and as fine as possible, because the thinner you chop it, the more flavor you're going to get out of it. Some people like to use garlic powder. I prefer using fresh garlic because garlic powder doesn't quite catch the flavor of fresh garlic. All right. Okay, now that our skillet is hot, we're going to add about a teaspoon of oil. Okay. And we're going to let the oil get hot a second. And once the oil is hot, we're going to first add the garlic, and we're going to let the garlic roast. We're doing this on medium heat. We're throwing all the garlic, 4 cloves in here. And we're going to get that around. And we're going to let that sit for about a minute. Okay, once you begin to smell the garlic, once it begins to give off its strong garlic scent into the air, you want to, actually, we're not doing the almonds yet. I like to, when I put the chicken on, I like to put it outside down. Okay, so I put a little bit of salt. A little bit of pepper. Okay, now I lay that down right on top of the garlic. Okay. Now, after I put the chicken on, I turn up the heat to about medium-high, and we let that fry for about 5 minutes on each side. And while it's frying, I'm going to season the top side with salt and pepper. Of course, you do this to your own taste. You like a little more salt, put a little more salt. You like a little more pepper, you add a little more pepper. And let's put this aside while we prepare the broccoli rabe. Okay, this is the garlic I'm going to use for the broccoli rabe. This I just like to make as thin as possible and leave them
just thinly sliced without chopping them further. I actually like to see the garlic in the broccoli rabe, because if you can see it, you can taste it better. So now we're going to flip the chicken because it's time. Now, what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to remove some of the garlic from here, put it back in the pan, because it does stick to the chicken, and there's plenty enough that will stay on the chicken. Okay, and let's get all this back into the pan. Get the chicken on top of the garlic, so we get as much of the garlic flavor onto the chicken as possible. Okay, and back to our sliced garlic. And I like to use a lot of garlic in the broccoli rabe because it does, well, you can never get enough garlic. There's our sliced garlic that we're going to use inside the pan with our broccoli rabe. Okay, and the chicken, we're doing 5 minutes on each side. Make sure you only flip it once, and once you actually put the chicken on the skillet, you can raise the heat. Right now I'm cooking on high, so that chicken should be ready in about 5 minutes on each side. Okay, and okay, let's get the broccoli rabe going. So here's a bunch of broccoli rabe. It's been washed and rinsed. I cut off the bottom, maybe 1.5 inches. These parts are usually tough and take a long time to cook. Many people like to chop the leaves off of the broccoli rabe. I say leave the leaves on. They are very delicious and probably the best part. Okay, let's put this in a pan. So now the chicken is ready. We're going to remove the chicken from the pan and we're going to put it on a plate, and we might want to keep this in a warm oven for 5 minutes. It still has to sit, keep the juices inside so that the juices don't spill out when you cut it. So I recommend letting a chicken sit for 3 to 5 minutes. Okay, I'm going to put this in a warm oven, and we're going to make the broccoli rabe. Okay, so we have our hot skillet. We're going to add about just under a tablespoon of oil. Okay, have that nice and hot. Okay, give it a couple of seconds to really heat the oil. And then we're going to put our sliced garlic into the oil. Okay, let's see if the oil is hot enough. Okay, yeah, it is. Okay, so I'm just gonna spread this around. Let that fry for about 30 seconds. And now I'm going to put in the almonds. Okay. And I'm not going to use all the almonds. I usually don't. The recipe calls for 3 ounces. Sometimes that could be a little much. Okay, so we're going to leave the almonds here until they begin to turn slightly brown. After about a half a minute, Give them a good stir. Okay. Flip a few of them over, see what's going on with the color. You can put this on a little higher heat, medium high. If you like, you can add a small pinch of salt. Alright, get the almonds and the garlic mixed in together so you can't tell them apart. Always a nice surprise when you think you're about to bite into an almond and you get a garlic. Works great on children. Okay, now that our almonds have become a little brown, we're going to take all the broccoli rabe and put it right in the pan on high heat. Okay. And we really want to steam these. So in order to get a good steam going, we're going to add about a quarter cup of water. And we're going to cover it with a lid. Okay, we're going to check on that in about 3 minutes. Alright, now I'm going to open the pot and turn up the heat a little and just rotate these a little so we take what's on the bottom away from the direct source of heat and put that on top. So we have the broccoli rabe that hasn't been cooked at the bottom. And I think we're going to add a little more water just to make sure that it doesn't burn. Okay, you want to keep checking the broccoli rabe to make sure that it's not burning and that there's a little bit of water in the bottom. Okay. Some people like the broccoli rabe stalks whole. I like to cut mine. So let's cut these a little shorter. Okay. So altogether we cook the broccoli rabe on medium-high heat with a little bit of water in the pan for about 10 to 13 minutes, depending on how much broccoli rabe you have. So this broccoli rabe is almost ready and we're about to put it on top of the chicken. I'm now going to open the lid to let the rest of the water evaporate while I stir up the broccoli rabe a little more and get the get the garlic and the almonds mixed into the broccoli rabe. Okay. We're just going to leave that on the heat for another couple of minutes. And then we're going to try it to make sure it's tender enough. When it's almost ready, you want to add a couple of pinches of salt. A little bit of pepper. And get that mixed in there. The broccoli rabe usually takes a little longer than the chicken. So once the broccoli rabe is tender enough to eat, you can see if it's ready by chewing on one of the thicker pieces. I'll take this piece right here and just to taste it. Yeah, that can use a couple of more minutes. Okay, it looks like the broccoli rabe is ready to place on top of our chicken. Okay, so the rest is very easy. Take the chicken and you simply scoop the broccoli rabe on top of the chicken. And there is your chicken broccoli rabe. And that is how you make an extremely delicious, simple, and very juicy chicken broccoli rabe. Call your neighbors over. They're gonna love it too. If you like this recipe, click the like button. If you made this recipe, show us photos, let us know any changes you made, and tell me what you thought about it. Please don't forget to follow me on Khal.com. Bon appetit.